We're going to start on time. Okay, we'll call this February 9th election board meeting to order. Introduce our members: John Etchison, Democrat member; myself, Russ Willis, Republican member; and our county clerk, Linda Smith. All are in attendance. First matter of business is to approve the minutes of December 1st, 2022 meeting. Do I have a motion to do so?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second?
I guess I mentioned I wasn't at the meeting a month ago, but I will second that, yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes have been approved. Next item of business is to elect president for this year of the election board. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion that William Russell Willis be put in the nomination for the president of this election board, since he is actually the only person here that's been on the board more than 30 days. So I think he would be a good president. So
I second that motion.
All those in favor signify.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you for that. And the secretary of the board, per IC code 3658, is our county clerk, Linda Smith. So she'll serve as our secretary. First item on the agenda, we've had a couple complaints filed. We're going to deal with those. The first one was by Mary Wolverton, and it dealt with situations down in South Madison County School District race. She was very concerned about the candidate down there called her and said he was going to steal her yard signs, and was concerned also about people standing close to the polling places where people entered. I had a lengthy discussion with her yesterday, and she understood, as I explained, that her complaints were to be dealt with on election day, and she didn't file these complaints until the 29th of December. She'd also called the state election board, and they told her essentially the same thing, that these were criminal matters, and we would not be dealing with those as an election board. So at this time, if I could have a motion to dismiss this complaint.
I move we dismiss the Wolverton complaint.
Second?
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. And that has been communicated to Mrs. Wolverton. The next item of business is a complaint against Mr. Tim Funk, and this complaint is an inter-party situation, and we have no jurisdiction or authority over that at all. I would accept a motion to dismiss this complaint.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify.
Aye.
Any opposed? That complaint has been dismissed. Okay, we have 4 challenges that we're going to deal with today to people filing to be a candidate, and all of them, interesting enough, are based on the law that went into effect July of 2021 of having not voted in 2 consecutive primaries as the law requires. The first one is reference Angelina Remington. She filed to run for clerk treasurer in the town of Alexandria, and all the members have been advised and shown and got copies of the vote history of this person. The last 2 primaries, as outlined in the statute, the last 2 primaries she voted Republican in 2020, and 2019 she voted Democrat. So the last 2 were not the same party that she wants to run in. And Ms. Armington advises that she was in Indianapolis this morning and probably would not be able to get back to this meeting to speak to this issue. Anyone else care to speak on it? I would accept a motion to uphold the challenge.
Yeah, I move that we uphold that challenge on Remington.
Second?
I second.
All those in favor of upholding the challenge, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That challenge will be upheld and proper notification given. The next one is for Amber Eckert Jones. Are you here, Amber? Okay. Same cause is for the candidate does not have the last two primaries consecutive in the party that they want to run. Her election record has been provided to the board. She has one primary in 2008, check, 2016, Democrat, and one, that's all. There is no other primary vote. Correct. She has only one Democrat primary, which doesn't make her qualified to run according to the law. Yes, sir.
Who made that law?
State legislature.
I don't understand the logic of say a person when they ever
Excuse me, Ollie, we can't hardly hear you. You want to come up to the, right there at the podium.
okay.
Is the red light on the base of it?
It doesn't come on there.
Oh, it doesn't?
It should be.
Okay, it's on. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to question the validity of this law. What if a person never voted, moved in from another state, or a person turning 18 years of age? Would they be eliminated from running just because they haven't voted in two consecutive primaries or two consecutive general elections? Tell me the logic of that.
Okay, the general elections do not apply. It's the primaries only. And the law says-
Again, you're restricting a person just turned 18, eligible to vote. You're saying they do not have a right to exercise their constitution and human rights by voting.
They can vote, but if they don't vote in the primary that they want to run in, then they're not qualified. The only exception is with a waiver from the county chairman of that party.
That makes it even worse. In this situation, we have a county chairman who's also a candidate. Let's take a situation where what if that person had a challenger? Could he rule against his challenger for the same office just because he didn't vote in two consecutive primaries?
Yes, sir.
That's not liberty. That's not right.
You need to contact your state legislature.
And I intend to. What I'm saying is, it is something that President NAACP, Distributed Liberties Union, I'll go with him or whomever. We're talking about human rights. You guys are denying people their right to vote by rules where I believe it's biased, and it should never have been. It's wrong for you guys to sit up and say y'all represent the people, but yet still you're going to deny people the right to vote, to run an election?
We are enforcing the law, Mr. Dixon. John?
I'd like to add to that I think my opinion on what the legislature is doing is trying to encourage people to vote twice before they run for elected office. We're not keeping anybody from voting, we're keeping people from running. The legislature is keeping people from running for office who have not voted twice in their party from running in that party. I don't think it's that bad a law to pass myself. What's so wrong about asking people to vote before they run for office?
John, all right, let's look at it this way. What qualifies Russ Willis or Tim Funk to judge whether a person is eligible? Tim Funk is a candidate. And you're saying just because individuals, excuse the expression, but they look just like you guys, it seems that they're doing something that is sexist, racist, and there's a state legislator down there, male, white, old, gray-ass men, just like you guys. You guys don't have a right to deny individuals the right to vote.
I'm not denying them the right to vote.
Where to run for office.
It's the law.
What makes you confident?
Here's a question your colleague should ask. In the last, what I was telling.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Dr. Catherine Callahan, and I was challenged that Russ Willis willingly signed off on a gentleman who voted Democrat his entire time. Suddenly wanted to be a Republican, never voted Republican, signed off on him. Had another gentleman, Evan McMillan, who didn't vote twice in the same, Russ signed off on him. So maybe that's the answer you need to get an answer to.
Well, I will. Jot that down for me. So, what I'm saying, I've seen it done here for Jeff Harden, and I've seen several other individuals. They went from one party to another one every damn election, okay?
He's call about is the ones who sign off on.
Right, but you're right. Their friends they're going to sign off on it. They took me to the Indiana Supreme Court before, not the same election committee, but with the same, and Kitty, you know about it. So it's always seemed to be females or some or blacks that get tied up in this system, okay? And it's wrong.
I want to just add to that it's total discretion of the party chairman of the Republican order who they sign off and who they don't. But actually, that's no business. That's no business of the election board who the chairman signs off on. What is monitor the chairman of the party?
What is Tim Funk's qualification? What is Russ Willis' qualification?
To be chairman, they were elected by the precinct committee. Just like that's how they got the job. They were elected by the precinct committee.
And you think it's fair?
Who gets elected? I mean, that's how
you guys choosing who runs. What is it, the creation of a new city, new precinct, or whatever? Does the same rules apply? What if no one has voted twice, 2 consecutive terms in primaries? Are they both eliminated?
They can be.
All right.
Unless they get their chairman.
You over the pass, Joe.
Unless they get their chairman to sign off on it, then they can run. But according to state law, we don't make the state law.
So if Tim Funk had a challenger, and under the same circumstance, he could rule against that person.
He could not. He could answer the ballot or not answer the ballot. His choice, his discretion.
And you guys.
That's outside the purview of this election.
You guys, you sit among these guys with that same opinion?
I have read the laws on it, Ollie, and we don't have any choice but to uphold the law.
But you do have a choice. You're giving the choice to Tim Funk.
The law allows it to fall to the discretion of the chairman.
You're double talking, okay? You're two-tonguing.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, okay? You're entitled to your opinion.
The law is clear.
You see why we got to change this. The law is clear.
I ran myself as well.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of political notice that had to stop. I'm sorry, but there were 13 people that were signed off on last election because you wanted certain people in to beat certain people. And that's not right.
Right.
It should be about the people and who they vote for, who should be the best candidate. You shouldn't be able to take people's signs out their yard. You shouldn't be able to sign off, you should vote for this person, this person, and this person. You are the chairman of your party. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
At all.
Right. That's right. And I got no problem with, I like the candidates that's running. For instance, Mr. Joe Newton, always been a good friend of mine. But that doesn't give them a right to deny Donita a right to run, okay?
Tuesday, I'm sorry, there are certain people, I get the law.
Could you identify yourself, please?
My name is Megan Green. I get that you have to do, primary 2 times, I get that. But you guys have been signing off on people that, again, if you go to Democrat, okay, next one you did Republican. Oh, so I'm going to run as a Republican. So you sign off on that person or vice versa. But when other certain people want to do it, then you judge people and be like, oh no, I don't like you, or you don't qualify. But you sign off on other people. So it should be the same all around. You shouldn't just get to pick who you want to.
That's what they're doing. They're picking who they want to run. And if you would, give your name and everything to Donita there, so when we reach the election commission and the Indiana Civil Liberties Union, we're gonna get some feedback. We're gonna find out how fair this is. Okay, John?
Hey, I'll say something.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
John Bosty, live Madison, Indiana, 1907 Lamar. My question about this is that we want to give everybody an opportunity to run for office.
Could you spit the mic just a little closer, Jim?
Okay. We want to give everybody an opportunity to run for office. And in Donita's case, I don't know about everybody's case, but in Donita's case, and you say, I'm reading about what I've seen in the newspaper.
Okay, if this is about Ms. Thompson, can you wait till we get to her?
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you,
not
John.
done for it yet. Yeah, sorry.
I would accept the motion on this challenge to uphold.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ms. Jones will be notified. Motion carries. The next one we have is Ricky Payne. Ricky Payne, are you in the room? Okay, this is, he signed up to run as Republican and for mayor of Elwood. And he does not have the 2 consecutive primary votes as required by law. He voted Republican in 2022. He had an unknown primary in 2016. As for the last 2 primaries. Any questions? I would accept the motion to uphold this.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make that motion to pull the Payne challenge.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Challenge upheld. Okay, we had a challenge filed against Donita Thompson. Again, not enough primaries in the party she wants to run in. She voted 2022 primary Democrat and 2016 unknown. Ms. Thompson, are you in the room? Hi. Something you'd like to say?
Well, before she is, can I say something before? With Donita here, there was the mistakes down on the books, at least down in the Union Hall. They found, after arguing, that she had, they could find she had registered in one of the primaries. If they made a mistake in one primary, why is it they couldn't have made a mistake in a second one? They got a problem with the books down there, and it has been admitted. And I just received you. I want you to explain what took place down there. Okay? Thank you.
Go ahead. State your name.
Hello, my name is Donita Thompson. I just want to say that I went to the UAW's vote on 2840 Madison Avenue on May 3rd, 2016, in Anderson, and I voted in the 2016 primary election. I have a signed letter stating for each of you that I voted Democrat in that election. Also have a signed page in the poll book showing that I did show up and I did vote in the 2016 primary. As you can see, the Democrat ballot box is not checked. What you will also see is that 149 other voters were not checked either. That is what led to my voting history stating an unknown ballot for the 2016 primary. In the 2022 primary, I voted Democrat. In the 2016 primary, I voted Democrat. But because they did not check the ballot, which ballot I asked for, then it's stating unknown. So I meet the qualifications because I did vote in 2 primaries. I voted Democrat in both of those. I also want to offer evidence to from the Indiana Election Committee minutes from February 18, 2022, where Chairman of the Indiana Election Committee, Paul Okerson, Vice Chair Susanna Wilson Overholt, and members Karen Celestino Horseman and Michael Claytor, and Litany Pyle, presided over cause number 2022-21 in the matter of Kurzbomas versus Oak, combined with Stevens versus Oak, cause number 2022-29, in the matter of Heather Oak, a candidate for the Republican nomination. And I have those pages here. As well. And I have copies for each of you as well. Sorry, thank you. It's about 14 pages. Okay? Now, the challenge was that candidate Oak was verified in voting in one Republican primary in 2022 and was marked unknown in the primary she voted in previous to that, 2016. Candidate Oak also stated that she had no control over the ballot box being checked, Republican or Democrat, even though she too was sure that she requested a Republican ballot at the time. The challenge was denied and candidate Oak was allowed to run as a Republican. It is undeniable that I voted in the that I voted in the 2016 primary. I have no control over what is put in my voter file. I would never have thought to check that to make sure that an unknown wasn't mistakenly listed, since most voters don't even know that that exists. There are two options that can be picked when voting in the primary, and that is Republican or Democrat. If a poll worker did not mark which one was requested, and they did not for 149 other voters as well in that precinct, then it should be corrected by the county instead of entering an unknown, so we don't have these type of issues. And I understand that the ballots are being done differently, so they're electronic, so those issues no longer exist, hopefully. But I don't want to be penalized for something I have no control over. How can we say that my vote counts? I did what I was supposed to do, and I voted in 2 Democratic primaries. I requested 2 Democrat ballots. I have always voted Democrat, so I have no reason to question myself. If we have to rely on accurate information to be entered, then we need to make sure that those poll workers and anyone who has involvement in that understands that it is essential that those things that we done are to be done right, so that we don't come here with these types of issues. In conclusion, I voted in the 2016 and the 2022 primary. And I am attesting that I did vote Democrat, and I ask that you follow the precedent set by the Indiana Election Commission in 2022 and deny the challenge presented by Councilman Newman. Thank you.
So, can I ask you one?
Yes, sir.
Can I tell you, Diane, is that okay?
Yes.
I just want to check again. So you did not vote in the 2018, 2019, or 2020 primary election, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I just want to be sure that we were agreeing on that.
Yes. And as the language states in the law, it states that to seek a nomination, a candidate must belong to the Democrat or Republican Party. One way this is determined is by the political party ballot requested by the candidate in the 2 most recent primary elections in Indiana the candidate voted in. So it does not state that they need to be consecutive.
I agree, it's a very unfortunate situation, and this has been going on for years because it had to be either marked by the voter or by the poll clerk. Either or, it states in the statutes, either or can mark it. People have not been able to serve on boards and commissions because of requirements by statute that there be an equal number of R's and D's on boards. They call voter registration, they find out their last primary was not in the party of the seat that they want to be on this board and commission. People have not been able to serve on those boards and commissions. And I agree, I don't know what the right word is, but yeah, it's not a good thing that that's happened. As you alluded to, it cannot happen again with the new vote centers. The ballots are printed out electronically. They enter in the party. The ballot will not print until the party is entered into the system. So that problem will not exist again. It's unfortunate that that's occurred. We have to go by the SVRS, which is the State Voter Registration System, records. That's what we're required to look at by law. And the out to that, the exception to that law, the waiver, is by the county chairman. And that is what the legislature voted on. That's what we have to go on and act upon.
Okay.
We don't have the discretion to say, oh yeah, you didn't qualify because of all the accurate records that we have, though it wasn't totally put in correctly. We can't change that. We can't override the law.
I'm not asking you to override the law. The challenge is that I did not vote in 2 primaries, and I'm showing you unequivocally that I
The
did.
challenge is not that you did not vote in 2 primaries, man. It's that you did not vote in the same party of 2 consecutive primaries.
Do you have a different challenge than what I have? Because that's not what my challenge
Challenge,
is.
you want to see the printout?
Yes. No, I want to see the challenge itself. The individual put in a challenge.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I can say this.
Okay. On the challenge, it states, vote 1 primary. It takes 2 primaries. That's the challenge. And also, anytime I go to the precinct, they will not, even though you are supposed to allow the person to march, they will not allow the individual to do anything but sign their name. And that is at as many precincts both times that I went to vote. That was not an option. You sign your name, you show your ID, they compare and make sure everything is right, and then they send you on your way. They do not allow you to go through, look, check boxes, or anything like that. It's not an option.
That's not the way the poll workers are trained. I've marked my own in the past.
I have never, and I've never been allowed to. And unfortunately, training is an issue, but I cannot be held accountable because people were not trained correctly. And I can't be held accountable because people did not do their job. What I am seeing is that he challenged that I didn't vote in 2 primaries. I show you that I have voted in 2 primaries. What I am also stating is that I voted as a Democrat in that primary. If they marked that unknown or if they did not know that, then they should have asked. That was not my issue. Also, and I'll give you that back because I don't want to take your information. And just give me just 1 second to look over my notes. Okay. Go ahead and read the challenge.
I read it says it voted in 1 primary, but it takes 2 primaries. It wasn't saying that you only voted in 1. It just said
it's saying stately what you just said. It voted in 1 primary. It's what it said, and then it said it takes 2 primaries.
Yeah.
So he's explaining that I only voted in 1 primary, but it takes 2 primaries. I'm telling you, you see it, and you have the evidence there that I voted in 2 primaries. Okay? And also, if you were to ask, because I asked Ms. Mary Rutherford in the election office and also Mr. Joe Spencer, and they both told me that is on the poll worker, it is not on me. So, if I'm not the only one who has that misconception, Mr. Willis, Mary Rutherford and Joe Spencer has also told me both of those things as well. That is not my problem. That's not my issue. That is on the poll workers who have done. And they told me that unequivocally. And the law states, the election guidelines state that the ballot should not be given until the book is filled out. That is on the poll worker. I was given a ballot and it was not filled out. So again, they need to understand, whoever the poll worker is, you have to train them and understand that whatever they are doing, it is essential that they follow everything that they are supposed to be doing as well. They can't give me a ballot until it's filled out. It was not my responsibility to fill out per the election office as well as the voter registration office. You know, the only person that's stating that is you, Mr. Willis. It was my issue, and that is not what I've been told. That is not what has been presented. And when you go to that precinct, that is not what they allow you to do.
Again, that's not the way they were trained. The statute does say that the voter or the poll worker, you might say and the poll worker, mark the book.
And that's what the statute
says.
says.
There's no way in practical reality, I think you can realize this, we can oversee at that time it was before vote centers, it was 500 poll workers at 80-some sites.
And I think that is exactly what the Indiana Election Commission also decided when they did the state, and that's why they moved to allow that individual to be on the ballot, because that individual stated unequivocally that they did vote in the party that they were supposed to vote in. And if you have no evidence that I did not, then the challenge can be upheld. But you have no evidence that I did not, and I'm telling you that I did.
Our only evidence is the record in the state system. That's what we have.
That cannot be the only evidence. We have people who also speak. We have the election office. We have the voter registration. Those are the people who put those people out there as well, and they can tell you that that's how it's done. They do not allow an individual to mark that. So that's how they are training individuals, because that is their understanding as well. So I can't be held accountable for something that has absolutely nothing to do with, that's not under my control. I did what I was supposed to do. I voted in 2 Democratic elections, and I did that. It is not my problem, and it's not my responsibility for someone else to do their job. And when I go to the polls, I went to the polls to vote. I know, I even worked in the 2016 race, there was Lindsey Brown. He was running for commissioner. I helped run his campaign. I helped put him, I helped with his fundraiser that was held at the Democratic office. I was there fixing hot dogs and chips and helping with the hot dog bar and everything to help him. I went to the polls specifically to make sure that I voted for that individual. That individual ran as a Democrat. I know for a fact I pulled a Democrat ballot. And I think that the precedent set by the Indiana Election Commission is clear.
You want to table it?
No, we ain't based on it.
Sure we can.
We ain't based on it.
Sure we can.
We're not gonna vote right. You gonna vote right.
We want it. I haven't had a chance to read the materials. And you are who, sir? I move we table this so we can further study and check on her information.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All those in favor?
We're gonna see.
Fine.
Aye. We will investigate this further. You brought up some good points. Thank you.
If people want to speak, who can we email to if we're not able to get the next
Thank you, Donita.
before it?
Thank you, Donita, for your testimony.
You can mail it to the election room, 16 East 9th. I'm not sure what the room number is of the election room.
And who did we pay attention to?
The election board. Your name, sir?
I'm Larry McClendon. I'm the president of the local NAACP here. And first of all, I want to give just a little clarification. Maybe I'm slow or something. Ms. Donita Thompson, she got up here. She gave you the state president on this. She proved that she voted Democrat in 2 primaries. It was up to the poll worker. The poll worker didn't check it. We have other individuals from different cities that's been checked off left and right, who was Republican one year, now they can get checked off as Democrat. You guys have been signing off on it all year. What do you have to table this for, Mr. Willis? What evidence haven't you seen?
I've not been able to read what she...
You can read right now. It's right there in front of you. She gave you the president right now.
We're going to look into it and make a decision and come back and have another meeting.
You shouldn't have to look into this. She gave you the evidence now. This thing has been all over the newspaper. You have done your research. Quit playing with me, sir. Quit playing with me, sir.
I'm not.
Because this problem can get bigger than what you know it can get. You're dealing with the right ones. Sir, this is 2023. I don't know what you've been dealing with in the past, sir. I'm going to talk freely. But you're dealing with the wrong one. Do the right thing. This thing can get bigger than what you think it can get.
We'll notify her of it when the
No.
decision is made.
Listen, you have all the information right there.
and I haven't had a chance to read it. There's several pages that she gave us.
We can be patient.
We're going to look at it and come back for another meeting.
Listen, take a break. Take a break. We need to deal with this now. We need to deal with this now. We don't need this table.
Let's deal with
No,
it.
that's no. We're gonna have a problem.
Sir, we are going to have a
Listen,
problem.
I can talk if I want to. I have the stand, sir. You're not gonna quiet me up here.
We have another
I
item
am
on the agenda that we're going to deal with,
Well,
and then we will go
finish
back and
talking to
look
me,
at it.
sir. Finish talking to me. I'm here.
Finished.
I'm here.
I'm finished.
I am a citizen of this
And you've
city,
been heard.
and I haven't finished yet.
We're going to deal
So
with
you're not gonna tell me.
item on
You're
the
not gonna
agenda.
quit telling me to
You can
talk.
speak when we come back.
No, I'm gonna speak now on the issue. The politics in this city is horrible. Why people like you, Russ? I gave you a fair shake on this one. I will never give you another fair shake. You are backing people like Tim Folks in this corrupt administration to do work like this. My vow as the president of the local NAACP, I will take action on this. This corrupt political system in Anderson, Indiana will be taken down. You think you're ahead of something? God has the final say-so. He has the final say-so. And you have met the right brother, man. It's a new day. This corrupt system will be taken down. And I vow to die by my word, sir. I vow to die by it.
Mr. Newman, do you have a comment?
Thank you, Mr. Willis, and the other two members of your board. No disrespect of what's going on here. No, ain't no disrespect.
Let Mr. Neiman speak.
I speak as I speak. I feel free. This whole system.
I will have you removed from the room, Larry.
One politics, and you're one too.
I'll have you removed from the room.
I can remove, they can remove it as they will. But you're backing a corrupt political system, Mr. Russ. You can vote on it now. You don't have to table this. You have enough evidence in front of you. We're not going to play dirty politics in this place. You don't run this thing. You don't run this thing.
I run this meeting and you will be quiet.
You don't.
Point of order.
Run this. Then you are elected by the people. You are elected by the people. So we're not going to play this game any longer in this city. Any longer. All you guys are elected. I don't care about the court, but we are the people.
Enough.
We are the people. You do right, sir.
Enough.
You do right now.
Mr. Newman has the floor.
You just asked it. You just asked if you want. Okay.
Mr. Willis. Mr. Willis. I'm one person. You have to shield before I let injustice
Be
be done.
quiet or you'll be removed. Right now. Mr. Newman?
Thank you, Russ. Sometime here shortly, I'd like to have the copies of everything that the lady has given you, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I can get, Russell, here's a copy right here, and then we'll have another one here for myself.
Sir, he wants a copy so we can look at it and respond.
Not a problem. He just gave it to us.
Would you like the time frame in which we would be allowed to respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
Go ahead and study that and then we'll deal with the next item on the agenda.
You want us to respond within 5 days or 10 days or anything?
3 days will be good. So we can do it.
Respond now.
We'll give it, could we have next Wednesday?
That's too long. If you could be prepared when we come back from our recess today.
Well, we might want to do some research, sir, in the legal system, and that just can't be done that quickly.
Okay, we'll make that determination when we come back from the recess. After we've looked it over.
Thank you for considering.
Thank you.
One thing I'd like to say here, Board, is we go by the fact that the state legislature and the governor signed into law since 21. Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is other business.
Can I say something?
Very quickly.
Okay. I think I told you my name last time. But I want to say, Ms. Thompson, she actually stated her party 2 times in the Democratic side. It was 2 primaries that she voted in. two primaries that she voted in. That makes her legal to run for a legal candidate. This is something that we shouldn't have to debate. This is something that we shouldn't have to take back and have another meeting. This is something we should be able to decide right now. She was a citizen that came out to vote, voted on the Democratic side, stated her party 2 times. If a poll worker make a mistake, I've been in many elections. I have never been where when I state my party, that's the poll worker job. That's not her job. That's not her job. That's what we pay poll workers for. She done what she's supposed to do. Now me, I've been a supporter of Joe Newman ever since he ran for office. But I don't want to see nobody denied to run for office. We can't sit up here and do this. What you doing?
We're following the law.
No, you're not following the law.
Yes, we are.
Wait, hold it, listen 1 second. Listen, you're not following the law. The complaint was she didn't vote in 2 primaries. She come up here and showed you that she voted in 2 primaries. She come up here and showed you. She was very professional. She come up here with paperwork. She come up here and showed you everything that you needed to do to decide this case. This case is long, and that's why.
We've already made a decision.
But you passing the buck. You saying that you got to walk away. It's election time. She has to prepare to get ready to run for election. You want to walk away and come back 5 or 10 days later.
No, we're not. We're going to recess now and deal with it.
They're going to deal with it. We have another thing, and they're going to deal with it today.
Okay, well, we need to deal with this today, but I want to say this, and I want people it's just that's over this election. You have to make sure that in Madison County that we have a fair election, and you have to make sure that people is getting the opportunity to run for office. You have to make sure, and you have to make sure it can't be just who you want it to be. If you want somebody to run, but you have recruited people to run against Mr. Dixon. You have recruited people to run against Mr. Dixon that was Democrat that you wanted them to run on a Republican ticket. You weren't going to sign off for them to run against Councilman Dixon. I know, but what I was going to say this, we have to be fair.
And that's the question I want to ask you. So if you have to be given a ticket to run, whether it's Democrat or Republican, the poll worker's supposed to give it. If nothing was marked, that means somebody could coerce the poll worker to just give out any ticket and could rig an election. So this really falls on the clerk, and I believe that was the elections at that time, and the poll workers and who orients these people, because if nothing's being marked, you're handing somebody who's reached up on the Republican ticket, you could give them a Democrat one because it's not there. So are we rigging elections in Madison County?
High school workers that
you got to start to wonder how our elections were done in the past, because you should be marking up front what she's pulling, Republican or Democrat. So makes me think you might be swaying an election a little bit there, Mr. Russ.
He told me he was going to beat me in an election.
We're going to move to the next item of business.
Hey, real quick.
We're going to move to the next item of business now.
No, you're not.
Lynette Carter, are you in the room?
You have to do
Thank
is
you.
give her a waiver, and this whole situation will be solved.
We don't issue waivers, man.
Only the party chair of this waivers.
Really? Because when I was on the ballot, and I was in the same deal with Catherine, and you removed me with a statute, okay? A statute.
And that's what we're doing now, if that's the
But
way
in
to
the
vote.
Constitution, have you read the Constitution? Because You know, so it's constitutionally, she meets all the requirements. Marbury versus Madison. Anything repugnant of the Constitution is null.
Ms.
Okay?
Flowers, thank you.
Yeah. Treason.
Ms. Flowers, let Joe speak here. We understand Russ didn't want to establish a dictatorship, not democracy, okay?
Mr. Willis,
We're off the thread.
I'm Joe Newman again, and I would like to withdraw my application on the protest, please, in the good of the community and the structure of both parties and everything else. So I'm standing there asking the board to withdraw my challenge.
I accept the withdrawal motion, we accept your withdrawal, DJ.
Thank you.
I second that motion.
You got a vote, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Right. All right. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Joe. That's a man.
But Lynette Carter, sorry for the delay.
Thanks for your patience too, by the way.
Thank you. And you had some questions that I was under fraud on the Hand 12 form. If you guys will look at this form, the first three questions have the word was. Was is the past tense. And what I was looking at this as, when Jim Felix was on the Union Township Board, he died. And his wife ran in the caucus to take his place. And I interpreted this as being someone that had died and I was running for that person's place. If it had said is, I would have said Walter
You
Carter.
know the microphone just a little bit, I'm sorry. I'm old and hard of hearing.
If it had said what is instead of was, I would have put Walter Carter. If it had said where is his employment, I would have put IU Ball Memorial. And if it had said what is your employment, I would have put community hospital. But this form does not say that. It is in past tense. And this form needs to be redone because it is not proper with the English. And I got the dictionary word as past tense with was and were. And the present tense is it, you, we, they.
Okay, you're talking about line 2 where it says the name of your spouse was?
1 and 2 and 3, yes.
Okay.
Or well, 2
but
and
if
3 and
you go
4.
to the top of that box, information for the calendar year before the date of the filing, 2021. So that makes it 2021. This was filled out in January, which it would be.
But the form still says the word was. I didn't see the 2021.
She actually ran against you,
And you
so
are-
I'm Megan Green. She actually was running against you for this. I don't think it's right that you should be able to be involved with any of this and ask any questions. She was running against you for the last spot on the Union Township Board.
And I recanted when I seen that he was running. I didn't even go into the caucus when it was,
And there was no file stamp on this as well. And when she called Mary to get a copy of this, and Linda, no one had a copy of this. There's no file stamp. She turned that paperwork into you.
That's correct. That's
Right. And so
proper
why
procedure.
now, a year later, all of this is coming up?
Calm down, please.
No, sorry, no. There's no file stamp on here. Did you actually file this?
You don't file it in a caucus until the person is elected or not. But it is an official legal document I have to keep for
Okay.
2 years.
So, I ran for Union Township trustee. I had to turn all of my paperwork into Mary. She stopped what she was doing.
Because you were running for office.
Okay.
She was running in a caucus.
Then
And I
why
re-
did you
and I
have
recanted.
a can 12 form? This is for a candidacy, not a caucus.
It's required.
Okay. So why?
Because the law requires it.
Okay, but it says for, this is for candidacy on here. Declaration of candidacy. It does not say declaration of caucus on here.
this form needs to be revised. I am not liar. I did not do anything
It's
fraudulent.
for a political party caucus, if you'll read the whole time.
Okay, that's fine. But again, she ran against you, and so you should have nothing to do with
Well,
it.
that issue's been dealt with this past week at the State Election Board, and they've said that I can rule on these issues.
Oh, I wasn't being fraudulent. I read the sentence the way it was.
I agree it's confusing, but the word "was" refers to the prior year. That's why
This is why everybody has problems with you. You sign off on all these people to run against people.
Whoa.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
That's typical.
I didn't lie. I wasn't being fraudulent.
You misunderstood.
I misunderstood, yes.
You misunderstood is what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, Walter also filled his out the
And he
same
said
way.
the same thing. He thought it was like when
He
Jim
didn't-
Felix ran.
It was Phillips, not Felix.
No, Jim Felix died and his wife took his place. That's how we saw this form, as if for somebody that was running to take their husband or spouse's
Mike
place.
Phillips,
Yes.
not Jim Felix.
Jim Felix is the one I was thinking about when I read these sentences.
But Mike Phillips was the one
Yeah,
who
Mike
passed
Felix
away.
died had nothing to do with him.
That's when you ran.
I know,
Until
but
that
I
vacancy.
thought this form was for somebody that was running for their spouse.
And you misunderstood.
I misunderstood. That's what I
Okay.
said.
But you understand why it says was? It's
No,
for the
it
prior,
didn't say was.
it does because it's for the prior year. You filled this out in 22, and it was for the year of 21.
Well, I didn't understand it that way, so.
Can't help that. Thank you for your explanation.
Thank you.
Anything else? I move that we close this case.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's closed, Lynette. Thank you for coming. We're gonna take a recess at this point to
I'm here at the
examine
podium.
the information on the Darnetta Thompson.
I'm here at the podium. Larry McClendon once again. Please don't disrespect me, sir. Have a seat.
I'll give you 1 minute, sir.
You won't give me any, I will talk. Have a seat. You're disrespectful.
We will resume.
Please don't disrespect me. It's coming for you, sir.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Been 15 minutes. As my colleagues on the election board pointed out, the challenge has been dismissed.
They're withdrawn, yes. Yeah.
So, is there a motion to accept? We did that, right? Didn't we?
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, that's done.
I move we adjourn. I make a motion.
I think that it's appropriate to hear Mr.
Listen, we have a bigger problem here.
Go ahead, Larry.
It's great with Donita that Mr. Newman did the right thing. But here in this community, I see we have a bigger problem, Mr. Willis. It started at the head. Your arrogance, sir. Your matter-of-factness. To be able to run as the chair of this council right here, you're going to have to take a humbler approach, sir. You are answering to the people of this community. I never thought it was a problem here with you. I see clear as day. We have a problem.
Sir, I don't like personal attacks on board members. Constantly
Sir.
arrogant. It's a personal attack on a board
It
member.
is
It's a
a
personal
fact.
attack.
Anytime I asked him, can I speak, and he said, you just get up and walk away, that is arrogant, sir.
You've already spoke several times before that. We just want to go back have a few minutes to discuss this issue.
Listen, I will not allow the arrogance out of this board to treat my people, my community like this. It's not just your community. This is our community. We are the people. We need to humble ourselves here. Donita, she gave you all the facts.
She's on the ballot. Joe made the withdrawal.
To no good of you or you. Newman did the right thing. We didn't need to recess for that, sir. I see clear as day, and I'm going to get it out. Where the problem lies, Russ. I didn't think it was a problem.
I got into the other room and they said, hey, it's got.
No, not just with Donita. We have different people running for...
Dismissed.
Right.
And it's done.
Not just with Donita. Let's start with Donita. Joe did the right thing. But we had other people running for offices. And the treatment that they have got, and the arrogance they have got from you, sir, shouldn't be tolerated from an elected official. We have a problem, Russ. I didn't think it was a problem. I'm done. It's a problem, Russ.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Motion on the floor and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey.